Shalom, this is Isaac, talking about being a Christian leader, some essential principles. And the second principle we're going to dive in and look at today is Christian leaders need to have a servant's heart. Yeah, this is a very important concept, being a servant. Well, everyone loves to be served. It's kind of our human nature. But what about serving? For some people it might come naturally, but for many of us it doesn't. And really, very few people, if any, ever aspire to be a servant. I mean, we all love to be served, and who wouldn't? But that's not our calling as Christians. And it seems like the higher up the ladder we go, the more influence God gives us, the less leadership, like servant leadership, we take on, the less being like servants we become, it seems like. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10 says, "Each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others, faithfully administering God's grace in its various forms." You see, God has given you certain spiritual gifts and natural talents. And why has He given you these things? It's to serve others. God didn't mean for you to take those talents, take those gifts that He's given you for your own fame and glory. No, that wasn't His purpose at all. He gave it to you so you could be a blessing to others. In Matthew chapter 20, from verse 20 to about 28, we see the disciples having a discussion about who was the greatest. We see this happening several times in the life of Jesus with His disciples. And they're discussing among them, they're walking along the way, and Jesus enters into the conversation, near there around verse 26, and He says to them, to this group of disciples that are kind of going through who's greatest and who's going to be the greatest. And Jesus says this, He says, "Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first among you must become your slave." Wow, Jesus turns our view of greatness completely upside down. Completely different than the way the world looks at things. Jesus introduces this different type of leadership called servant leadership. And He was modeling it and demonstrating it. That's the kind of leader Jesus was. Jesus told us that we need to be different. He told us that greatness comes not from being served, but by being a servant to others. So you want to be great? You want to be a great leader? Start serving people. Touching their lives by serving their needs. Start doing this. Start serving people, and you will see the impact that has on them and on yourself. Live differently. Generate influence through serving. If you want to be great, then start serving people. Shalom.